Welcome back, everybody. We are going to continue our drawing here, and we've got our basic layout going. Got everything kind of situated. Fantastic. Now it's time to start adding some details. Okay, so I'm not onto my final details. Now I've got to start like placing everything that's in there and getting a good idea of like, you know, where everything is. Now, one of the things about this environment in the fictitious world here, and maybe in the real world too, with these kind of style buildings, is they've got these slanted walls. So like everything's a little bit slanted, and I do kind of want to capture that a little bit in these. So they're basically cubes, but the walls are kind of tilted in a little bit. So I do want to adjust a little bit. Now, they're slanted in. Each one is slanted in, which means it will connect. Like if I slant this just like that, this wall is not really slanted, but it's hard to tell from this angle. But anyway, so let's just go ahead. I'm going to slant them just a little bit. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to slant this first one. Okay, so I'm taking this point, moving it in just a little bit. So now on this side, it's actually not going to necessarily just go back as well. It will go back, but it's also going to go in a little bit. So I think it would actually kind of go like this a little. Not as much as that one, but I'm going to go like that. Just slant it in just a little bit so I get this kind of sloping thing. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing up here. So I'm going to move these, and now we can break this down and move it in the box and move it within there and kind of do the two boxes and figure it out a lot more technically, but I don't think we just need to for this style of art. If it became an issue, like something was off, then by all means, and we need to figure it out and, and like work out the kinks. But just for this, I don't think it's necessary. So I'm actually going to slant the door here, and I have to decide which way I want to go. Do I want to come out or want to go in? I think I want to go in, meaning this is going to move a little. That wall's going to slant like that, which is going to push this back a little bit. Okay, but then I got to slant these as well. Kind of the same angle as that. Okay, and if this is too much, I wouldn't stress it, and I would just leave it as cubes, but I just feel like I've got to move it out a little bit. So this one I'm going to move like that, just out a little bit. I'm going to keep the point up here because I don't want to redraw that, but that is going to move this line back a little. And here's the thing. Once I've done my ruler work, like down here, I didn't need to get my ruler out again. I get it. I can rough out. Now, if you have issues roughing out straight lines, then by all means, go ahead and get your ruler back out again. But if you feel like you can get that yourself, then it's fine. Okay, so I've tilted those buildings a little bit. Maybe they need to be tilted a little more to show that they're really tilted. So I am going to push it out a little bit. And again, I've already kind of done my initial box work. So like with the perspective. So I'm okay just kind of roughing this in here. I'm just going to tilt this just a little bit more. I think that one's fine too, because again, this is going to be a different angle than that, and I'm not sure. It's just at the corner, the way these corners that are both slanting in connect. It's going to be a little different. Okay, so these buildings over here. So I think with these ones, I'll bring them out a little. Let's see. Hold on, let me take a peek at my reference here. Yeah, some of them are just slightly tilt. Some are straight too. So it's not like we had to tilt all of them. Let's tilt one and not do the other one. So maybe I'll I don't know if that'll look weird. We'll find out. Maybe I'll tilt this one. Or slant it a little bit. Okay, so again, it's creating a different point where it would hit on the ground here. So if it's coming out, again, I'm not sure I'm pushing it quite enough. So I'm coming out from the ground that much, if that makes sense. So then I'm going to move this to be correct. Again, I know it would tilt a little bit. Tilt back? I think it would tilt back like that. Okay, so it's changing my lines a little. After getting our boxes so nice, I was debating for a while whether I should, just for the sake of the video and the teaching, to keep it nice and simple. And again, if it's kind of like making a mess of your thing, just go ahead and, you know, keep them straight boxes. It's not really going to matter too much in the end. It'll still look good. I just wanted to kind of get some of that feel of the slanted kind of walls in my picture. Okay, there we go. We got some slanted walls. Let's start adding some details now. Okay, so as we go, we're going to be using less and less straight lines in perspective. As we add more and more details, things are going to start, you know, getting away from being perfectly in line with our vanishing point. As we can see here, I've already added lines that are not going to the exact vanishing point or not in straight 1 point perspective like that. But I used 1 point perspective as my basis for making all this stuff. Okay, so over here I had like a little tent kind of looking thing for the entrance to this building. So let's go ahead and do that. And basically I'm just going to draw a little see-through box. And I kept this building straight in terms of not slanting these walls. That'll make it kind of easy here. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the tent to the wall in the side that's touching the wall, because that's going to make sure that it is touching and attached. So here's like one side of my see-through box within the box, and then I've got this like tent thing coming down. So now the end of this would be in perspective if it's straight. So let me make sure I line it up with the vanishing point. There we go. So let's kind of droop the tent there. And then the lines, you could go straight down. And listen, they're going to be even with this line here for the most part. So now, but I don't necessarily think they have to be straight because, you know, it's a tent and maybe it's a little rickety and wobbly. But so I kind of tilted it out, made it purposely not straight, but I kind of estimated here. And then let's take this line to the vanishing point and find out where this end would be. So somewhere around there. Okay, let's kind of erase that up there. This will be like where this cloth is like kind of drooping over. Maybe I'll make it like sagging there. Okay, and then I don't know if I actually wanted that hole there or anything like that. So like I'm erasing all that stuff, all those extra lines. And then maybe I want a doorway or something in here. So maybe it'll be there. So maybe I'll use most of it for the doorway here. Then the top's going to go to the vanishing point. Okay, and this is going to have some thickness to it. Maybe it's like a bazaar or something in there, or like a little shop. So maybe there's just an opening there. Okay, so here we go. So now I've kind of started adding some detail. And once again, I like to keep doing the whole drawing at the same level, right? So if I added that kind of detail, I need to start adding more details elsewhere. So I also did have a tent over here in my thumbnail, a little, I guess it's called a tent. So now I kind of established here my person size with this door. So I got to make sure I've got similar sizes going. Now they can vary a little bit, but generally that means a person's going to be around, you know, that big. because that's my first real door. Now here's another kind of entranceway, which I'm going to do. It's right across from it, so it's pretty easy to find out. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to add this. And once again, look, so I already have my line here. Do I need to draw another line with a ruler here? Not if I'm careful. I can just kind of use what I have here. Make sure this side is thinner than this. And this can be like a little alcove that goes inside. Like that. And it looks like it would easily fit a person. Okay, so cool. Okay, so again, adding another level of detail. Want to keep moving though. Want to keep adding that same level to everything. So let's go ahead and add the door over here. Okay, so I've kind of established my size and my height of my door. So now I got to make sure I get this door the same height. So, okay, this one, I've got this one. And it looks like if I go straight across from there, I'm hitting about there on the wall. So let me go ahead and take this to the vanishing point. And make a little line there. And that's going to tell me how high the door should be on this wall, or the opening here. Okay, so do I want to put it in the middle? If I do, let's go ahead and put it in the middle, just because we can utilize our X rule. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. Make my X. And I've got 2 segments there. Now I know my wall's now not straight, so let's just do it like this. Okay, and that's my door size. And let me take a look here. Okay, so there's my midline. And now I want to, let's say I want to make it even. Okay, let's just do it precisely this time. So what I'm going to do here is that's my height. That's my bottom. And again, it's tilted because I slanted my wall. Let's measure this here. Actually, I'll just use centimeters. So yours, let me get on top here. I've got my whole thing upside down. That makes it tricky. Okay, so I'm just about 5. So that means 2.5 is my middle. Right there. All right, pretty close. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I just have to decide one width. Like I'm making 1/2 of my rectangle. And again, it's a little tilted because I gave it that. So if that's the size of my box, I can take a line here. This might be a little too thin. Go there. Is that a little thin? Maybe a little wider. Let me get the same parallel line here. Okay, so I'm taking this corner. So I got my half of my box here. This corner through the midpoint up to hit this line that gives me the height of my doors, and that gives me the other half. And I'm just keeping it parallel. There we go. You've got a slanted door, okay? Now this line here, because I'm going to make it be set back a little bit, would be straight. And then let's go up from there. And this is just below the horizon line, so we wouldn't see the inside of this top here. This line would go like that. And we'll stick a door there. Okay, so I've got doors on these ones. So again, trying to keep everything the same level of completeness. A lot of pencil or eraser shavings here. Let's get those out. Shavings. I still don't know what they're called. Eraser debris. I guess that's what I decided. Okay, so over here, let's get the height of the door on this one here. So I'm going to line it up with this door here to the vanishing point. Now I've got a height to work with. And I can make my door from here. So let's put this one off to the side somewhere, just so we don't have to do it in the middle. And I'll make this one rounded. So let's go ahead and go like that. Like that. Again, I'm not totally straight because this wall I made curved. not curved, slanted. Let's get that right there. Slanted. It's not the same thing as curved. Okay, and we'll make this one a round doorway. And if it starts looking funny, you can find the middle of this square and find where the peak would be. You know, it'd be, and I know just by perspective, it would be a little more towards this half, the back half. Okay, and again, I'll make this a little alcove because they all seem to have this little alcove-y, little alcove thing, or little setback for the size of the wall. And it's going to curve up, and that's going to give me a line like that. And once again, when I have all these parallel lines to work with, I don't even need to get my ruler out. So, and that's just kind of up to you. So if you draw it and you're like, oh yeah, I still need my ruler, get your ruler out. It's not a, nothing wrong with that. All right, cool. I now have the door here. Got that there. Let's get a few initial windows maybe set in here. They'll just be like little holes in the whatever they're made out of, mud huts. Okay, so I want to do 2 windows in the sides here. So I'm going to mark the size, and then again, I've got my lines that are kind of already parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those in. And then now on this side, again, this was in the middle, right? So now I could, again, if I want to make an X and measure and get it directly, I can. But a lot of those things I only use when I need to. And when I run into problems or if I'm not getting it right. Like here, I think this is a little too close to this side, and it's too far from this side. So the thing I want to keep in mind is that in perspective, things get smaller as they get further away, right? So generally this space would be thinner than this space, just in general. So keeping those things in mind helps the placement, when I'm trying to rough things out. Okay, and again, I've kind of got a sense of where my perspective lines go, so I can kind of rough out the 3-dimensional aspect of these windows here. And this whole village is kind of like more of a handmade look to it anyways, so at some point, we'll want to represent that. Okay, so there's some little windows. Let's do some different windows on this one, maybe. Let's do some like longer rectangular windows, but I still need maybe they'll be up high, like on the coming through the ceiling, like or very high. Maybe this is a high ceiling room, some like elaborate room. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my lines there, and maybe we'll make some going around the corner here on this side as well. So I'm going to take this corner wherever it hits there and go straight across and straight across. Oh, I wasn't quite straight across. Let's try that again. All right, I'm going to do it the way I can see it. So just with the lighting I have here, it's easier to see this edge when it's lined up with the paper there. All right, still missed a little bit, but it should be okay. Okay, so I want to kind of evenly space them. So once again, I'm going to rely on my X to space these out. So let's draw an X here. I did not have to draw it all the way, but I did. Okay, so again, the walls are a little slanted, so that's going to kind of throw things a little bit. There's the midpoint. Okay, so let's go ahead and get another X within these boxes. I'll do this one at the same time. Maybe I'll just do 3 windows here that are evenly spaced. Okay, so I've got my 3 spaces here for these. I'm gonna do these like rectangular kind of like slits for windows here, like that. Okay, and then I've got the same size going around the corner here, but I'm just, you know, I don't have to draw all the X's there because I can just kind of estimate here how far that is over here to make it look even. Draw kind of one there. And usually the way drawing goes, almost all the time, is you spend most of your time doing your detail in the front, and then as you get further and further away, there's less and less detail. But when you establish your detail in the front, you you kind of imagine that it continues as you get further and further away from the camera or the eyes of the person looking into this scene. Okay, so let's see what else. I think we need something over here for a window, maybe over here on this wall. And again, these houses can be built, they're kind of built differently. So I'm just going to make a little kind of rectangle over here. Make a little window over there. Okay. Let's see on this wall here. Do I want a window? Not sure. Okay, so you know what I do want to do though is they have a lot of these like struts kind of coming out of these buildings, like another little rectangle coming out, and kind of add a little bit of that here. Let's see if I can do that. I guess I got a spot here I can do that. We'll just do it here. Now it's going to be a little trickier because now I've got these slants going, but let's see. I can rough it out real quick. Let's see. So I'm just kind of keeping in mind where all my respective lines are. Let's see what I want to do. And again, I'm keeping perspective in mind here. Something like that. Okay, I think that'll work for me. Let me make sure I got my lines correct. Now, it is not, okay, so these lines are in perspective. This line is angled now because my wall is angled. So I'm trying to keep the same angle going. Okay. And then this I actually angled as well, like it's kind of slanted even more. Kind of as like a little support or something. Okay, so now how do I do that same shape over here? Well, again, I'm not an architect, and I mean, I could spend the time to get it exactly the same, but that's not essential, again, for what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make it look the same and look like it's about the same. So what I did is I hit this line here to get the same height over here, this line to get the same distance from the floor of the wall, I guess, not the floor. But I also needed this line here. Let's see. So I get this little corner here. That'll help orient me as well. Okay, cool. So let's just kind of get the same angles going here for the floor. Okay, it's going to come straight out. Okay, and that gives me the distance here. And then it kind of curved in a little bit and got thinner. Like this is thicker than this right here. And that goes in. And estimating the width here, knowing that it has to be thinner than this section. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. I think I want to add another little level of like a, I don't know what it is, like a little base kind of thing here. So again, just kind of going across. Maybe it'll have a little bit of thickness to it. Go to the vanishing point here. And then it'll be a little thicker over here. Like bring it out from the this little thing. So a lot of times doing things like this will start making things feel more three-dimensional. Or giving some things some volume. Okay. And I can't see the other side, but but even doing something like this insinuates that it goes all the way around the building. All right. Okay, I think we got a good little step done, and I think I'm almost ready to start adding some like smaller details. All right. So let's pause there and let's go ahead and do the next part on the next video.